Um, so our friends Chunfa and Jessie from Singapore were just here for 2 brief days visiting us. And they're very dear friends. As Chunfa mentioned this morning, we met when he was 17, back in 1987. And, watched him grow up. And he was the chair of the Singapore Polytechnic Buddhist Association way back when he was in school. So we've known each other for many years. And then Jessie, too, I've known a long time. And so it was wonderful having them come and visit us. And it was too short, but they said they'll come back and hopefully bring some more of our Singaporean friends. And this morning when I was showing them around, Jessie made a very interesting comment. Because yesterday was sharing the Dharma Day, so we had so many new people come who didn't know about Buddhism. And we were just talking about the cultural differences, And she was commenting how, in Asia, people really have the idea of creating merit and how you need to do a lot of virtuous activities and generosity and offering service and all sorts of things to create the merit so that you have a good life, so that you have the opportunity to study the Dharma, so that you can attain realizations. But in the West, people come in and, they didn't grow up Buddhists, so they didn't grow up with this notion of merit. So, they kind of come in and, well, what's here? And if it's interesting, I'll practice it. And if it's not so interesting, leave it. And not having the notion that we have to create the causes to be able to continue to receive teachings, or that we have to create the causes for the situation to practice, And so just kind of the difference in cultures and how we approach just this very fundamental Buddhist idea of merit and karma, and how if you grow up Buddhist, there's very much in your mindset, that what you're doing now is going to create the cause for what you become in the future and for what you have the ability to do and so on in the future, not only in samsara, but in terms of progressing along the path. But in the West, this notion, Dharma practitioners don't have it. It's like, so it's something interesting for us to, I think, really train our mind in, because it's a very essential idea of prolonging our viewpoint. So it's not just, what's here before me, I assume is always going to be here, and I take it or leave it or whatever. But the feeling in our life that we're here because of causes we created in the past, and what we're doing now is creating causes for the future. So it brings a whole different perspective on our life and on the choices we make, how we communicate with other people, what we communicate, what we do, what we prioritize, whether we see ourselves as just some blip who happens to be here, or whether we see ourselves in the context of being a conditioned phenomena, that is conditioned and then is going forward conditioned into the future. So I think it's something for us to think about and try and integrate in our practice, because it brings with it a much deeper respect for the law of cause and effect. And it really helps us, to make our decisions wisely about what's important. And it also helps us not take things for granted.